Right now, a fire on Madison's north side leaves multiple people displaced, what authorities are saying so far. Plus, as the Super Bowl gets underway, Super Bowl viewing parties across the Madison area, we're going to take you to a chili cook-off. Our Tanisha Shaw's there with more. Plus, it is the final day of the Frozen Assets Festival, how the organization continues to keep Madison's lakes clean. That's all coming up on News 3 Now at 5:30. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight for News 3 Now at 5:30. Happy Super Bowl Sunday for those of you joining us despite watching the Super Bowl right now, but we'll get to that in just a second. We're going to head outside for our first Foxcast with the meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze, it was a beautiful day so far.
It was. You know, we had plenty of sunshine, a little bit cooler than yesterday. All the snow has pretty much melted outside the studio. We really didn't get a lot here, but where we did, temperatures were cooler than they were yesterday because of that fresh snow. Take a look at our temperatures across southern Wisconsin in the teens once you get north of the Dells. Further south where, again, there just wasn't that much snow on the ground, we're in those mid-20s, 30 in Kenosha, 25 in Madison, 24 at Cross Plains and Middleton, 26 in Stoughton, and 28 in Edgerton. And as folks are maybe getting ready to watch the Super Bowl, it is going to remain quiet as we go throughout the rest of this evening, as temperatures are slightly cooler than the same time yesterday evening, especially further north. We're still eyeing a chance for some snow as we look to Wednesday of your upcoming work week. This is at 6 p.m. Our European and GFS models still picking up on the chance for snow. We'll talk about just how much we could see in the full forecast. But again, tonight we are going to head into the single digits or the teens. Cooler temperatures for folks farther north because of that fresh snow. And we'll talk about what to expect on Monday and talk more about that snow chance Wednesday in just a few minutes.
Sounds good, Blaze. We'll see you in just a sec. Now you can stay up to date on the weather with our First One Forecast weather app. It is hourly forecast, road conditions, and the latest radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather. Now we are just moments away from Super Bowl 59 getting underway, and the Eagles are going to compete against the Kansas City Chiefs for the title down in Louisiana. And some cooks are going toe-to-toe here in Madison. With that, our Tanisha Shaw is live at the Super Bowl Chili Cook-Off at a local bar, Tanisha. What's the atmosphere like?
Hey, Jalen. So, everybody, I have good news and I have bad news. I'll start with the bad news. Look around. There's no chili. It's all sold out, guys. They told me that the chili only lasted less than 2.5 hours, but there is a celebration that's going on right now. Let's take a look inside the bar. I am at VFW 7591. Let's take a look at this crowd. Everybody, like millions at home, are getting ready to watch Super Bowl 59. Now, we have some people who are watching right now and they're getting ready, but they said they'll talk to me for just a little bit, just to know, get a temperature check on what everyone's feeling. So, who wants to go first? They're being a little camera shy. Who are you rooting for?
Hi, I am Linda. I'm rooting for the Chiefs, my second favorite team. I know they've won a lot, but, it's a good game, and either one of them deserve it.
All right. Okay. Who are you rooting for, sir?
I'm rooting for the Eagles.
Eagles. Okay. And then let's try to get one more person to see how they're feeling. Who are you rooting for?
I'm rooting for the Packers because the Bears still suck.
I love that. That's the best answer right there. That's what we need now. VFW in Madison is open to the public. You can come by if you're watching this at home and grab a drink with them. And they're having food and drink specials today for the Super Bowl. So feel free to come on by, and I'll have a full report on that chili cook-off and how much money they raised tonight at 10 p.m. Reporting in Madison, Tanisha Shaw, News 3 Now.
Sounds good, Tanisha. Thank you. Have some fun yourself, by the way. All right. Good. Happy a lot of you at home are enjoying the Super Bowl. Now to some more local news. A mobile home is considered a total loss after a fire on Madison's north side Sunday morning. Madison Fire Department said the fire occurred in the 500 block of Waxwing Way after 7 a.m. where smoke was visible in the sky several blocks away. The trailer was fully engulfed in flames when fire crews arrived. 5 residents and a dog lived in the home. Everyone was able to evacuate and 1 person was treated and released for minor injuries. The cause of the fire is currently under investigation and nothing suspicious in nature is expected. A 23-year-old Belleville man is dead after a crash in the town of Albany Sunday morning. The Greene County Sheriff's Office said just before 1 a.m., a Ford pickup truck was southbound on English Settlement Road, where it proceeded through the yield-controlled intersection onto Dunphy Road. The vehicle traveled across Dunphy Road, where it collided with an embankment on the south side of the road and traveled up a hill, striking a bank of trees before coming to a rest. The man was the lone occupant of the vehicle and was pronounced dead at the scene. The investigation is ongoing. The Frozen Assets Festival wrapped up, and it will wrap up later this evening, but some people took advantage of the clear skies before packing up. Our Mayor Hubbard spoke with people who take winter activities to a higher level.
I'm out on Lake Mendota, where it's the last day of the Frozen Assets Festival, where people are skating, biking, kite flying, and even skydiving.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's amazing seeing all of the people falling from the sky in the parachutes. They were angels.
For normal spectators on the ground, they say it feels like there's enough activities to go around. But for these jumpers, sky's the limit as they hop out of moving planes, float through the air, and gracefully glide onto the frozen water. Dozens of them dropped in one by one throughout the afternoon as part of an annual event for Seven Hills Skydivers, a nonprofit skydiving center located 15 minutes outside of Madison.
Where we typically jump, you can kind of see Madison, you can see Milwaukee as well, but I've never been directly over Madison like this. So it's weird flying right over the Capitol and skydiving, but it's like any other skydive. So I'm happy to see the city from this point of view.
This was Isaac Lassiter after his second jump. He says that with the weather and clear skies, he plans to do at least 3 more before staying grounded for the rest of the day. Reporting in Madison, Meryl Hubbard, News 3 Now.
Meryl, thank you. Coming up next on News 3 Now at 5:30, another busy week for President Trump as he heads to the Super Bowl as he attempts to shake up the government yet again. Plus, the U.S. government's headquarters for the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is closing down. What we know so far.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5:30.
Hamas released 3 civilian Israelis and Israel released 183 Palestinian prisoners. It was the 5th swap of hostages for prisoners since the ceasefire began on January 19th. 21 hostages and more than 730 Palestinian prisoners have been freed. At the start of the ceasefire last month, Israel began allowing Palestinians to cross the Netzar to head to their homes in the war-battered north, sending hundreds of thousands of streaming across Gaza on foot and by car. The withdrawal of forces from the area fulfills another commitment to the deal, which paused the 15-month war. However, the sides appear to have made little progress on negotiating deals in the second phase, which is meant to extend the truce and lead to the release of more Israeli hostages held by Hamas. The U.S. government's headquarters for the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is closing down this week. Bureau employees were abruptly informed Sunday afternoon that the watchdog agency's Washington, D.C. headquarters will not be open for the week. Workers and contractors were instructed to work remotely. No reason was stated for the sudden closure, but the move comes days after Elon Musk tweeted out, "CFPB RIP" with a tombstone emoji. The Bureau did not respond to a request for comment. As President Trump begins a new week in his efforts to remake the federal government, he is expected to make sports history today by becoming the first sitting commander-in-chief to attend the Super Bowl. Ahead of the game, Trump made an announcement about new tariffs on steel and aluminum. Willie James Emden reports from West Palm Beach, Florida.
Tonight, President Donald Trump is set to become the first sitting president to attend the Super Bowl. Trump says he'll announce on Monday that the United States will impose 25% tariffs on all steel and aluminum imports, including from Canada and Mexico.
Any steel coming into the United States is going to have a 25% tariff.
Trump's stop in New Orleans begins a new week as his administration undertakes a dramatic overhaul of the federal government. With the help of billionaire Elon Musk, Trump is putting multiple departments and agencies under the cost-cutting microscope. The president spoke about the initiatives, several of which are being challenged in court.
We're talking about fraud, waste, abuse, And when a president can't look for fraud and waste and abuse, we don't have a country anymore.
So far, more than 65,000 federal workers have taken the Trump administration's proposed buyout, according to the U.S. Office of Personnel Management. The administration's intense focus on USAID is sparking debate between Republicans and Democrats.
I certainly think the government is far too big, far too bloated, and we're on a path now to start to see it shrink. This is a first step only, but we're moving in the right direction.
We are seeing an executive branch that has decided that they are no longer going to abide by the Constitution in honoring Congress's role in the creation of the agencies, in their role in deciding where money is allocated.
In addition, the Trump administration reportedly has ordered the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to halt almost all of its work. That, in effect, shutters the agency that was created to protect consumers after the 2008 financial crisis and subprime mortgage lending scandal. Willie James Inman, CBS News, West Palm Beach, Florida.
A new CBS News poll finds most Americans say President Donald Trump has started his term with net positive marks from Americans overall. Many say he's doing more than they expected. And of those who do, most like what they see. Very few think he's doing less. And coming up after the break, Blaze Keller returns with a complete look of your First One forecast.
We are tracking quiet conditions to start off your next work week. Maybe some light snow on Monday, but our eyes are continuing to track that system that is likely going to move through the Midwest as we go into later Wednesday, overnight into early Thursday. That's going to be our best chance over the next 7 days to see any accumulating snow. But there's been some changes even since yesterday that make it look like maybe we're not going to get as much as we previously thought, which is to be expected. Over the next day or so, we're still going to watch as our long-range models and some of our shorter-range models, when we get into Monday and Tuesday, ebb and flow this system or move it around just slightly across the Midwest. But the general path continues to take it along or close to the Ohio River. So the European model continues to be the better outcome for snow here across southern Wisconsin, whereas the GFS, the latest data, pulls the center of this low pressure further south and east, and it also doesn't have this system as organized as it's moving through the crucial part of its path, which would be kind of the St. Louis area through northern parts of Kentucky. So this is the GFS at 1 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, next Thursday. Still dealing with some snow, but the system isn't super organized. And it's slightly further south than the path that it had this system previously taking yesterday. The European model, on the other hand, if we're at about 12:30 in the morning on Thursday, the center of low pressure is a bit back north and west. That's going to allow more snow to impact parts of southern and central Wisconsin. And if we look at the North American model as well, that low pressure center is here, just to the south and west of St. Louis. So it's generally in agreement with the European model. So in the next day or so, we're going to watch to see, does the North American model, does the European model, and the GFS, do they all become one? Do they start to pick which one they agree with, or do we continue to see these differences? I am thinking that it's probably all going to come into an agreement, and we're likely going to see this low pressure system taking this route along the Ohio River. Right now, the general consensus is just slightly south, but that would still bring us some snow here across southern Wisconsin. Any further north and west is only going to up our snow chances. The GFS, compared to yesterday, has already cut its possible totals in half, looking at maybe 1, 2, at best 4 inches of snow across southern Wisconsin, whereas the European model continues to be a little bit more ambitious, a little bit more hopeful that we see that snow, so it's still at about 4 to 6 across a wide area of southern Wisconsin. Again, further north and west with both models, we're not seeing the snow, and further south and east we are. So we're now within that 1 to 3 day period. We're still looking at the states impacted, the general path, and general snow totals, nothing to be exact, nothing with really strong confidence. And we're going to continue to look at these and tell you guys the latest updates, because there's no point in getting you worked up about something that's not going to happen, or on the other side of that, get you prepared for maybe a bigger snowstorm when we see it on the horizon. And in addition to the snow on Wednesday, we're also tracking cooler than average temperatures for this time of year all throughout our extended forecast. But we're not seeing any really cold, Jalen, no single-digit highs, a few overnight lows just dipping below zero. But as we continue to make our way out of winter, our temperatures do get warmer. So it may be by a degree or several degrees that we're cooler, but no real bone-chilling cold in the forecast, and maybe another round of snow as we go Valentine's Day weekend into that following work week.
I tell people, once it gets 25 and lower, it all feels the same.
It really does, but yeah, we're not eyeing anything super cold. We'll just take it day by day.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Blaze. Still to come in sports, Wisconsin women's hockey looks to complete a season sweep over Minnesota. Next in sports.
For the 10th time in program history and the first time since 2021, Wisconsin women's hockey captured the WCHA regular season title yesterday. The newly crowned conference champs celebrated, rightfully so, with the Julianne Bai Cup last night and woke up this morning looking for a border battle sweep. They are 3-0 this season against the Gophers, trying to bring out the brooms in the final regular season game at LeBron this year. This one was scoreless through 2 periods. The Badgers trying to change that. Vivian Jungle sizing up her opponent and ciphers a shot past the keeper. The Badgers take the lead. Credit Casey O'Brien on the assist. She became the second Badger ever to reach 250 career points in this one. And then just 45 seconds of game time later, the Badgers, of course, they wanted more. This time it's Kirsten Sims finishing off a sick pass from Lacey Eden. And the Badgers, they go on to win it, and they do it handily. 6-1, the final score. Well, Giannis Antetokounmpo strained his calf last weekend, and while the team says that it's nothing serious, it's also not going away as fast as they had hoped. So today, they decided they would shut the Greek Freak down for the next week, which includes next Sunday's NBA All-Star game. It's a sacrifice that the team is willing to make with their eyes on a bigger prize.
We've just been monitoring it, and it just hasn't improved enough for us to play him. This was a playoff game. Would he play? Probably yes. But this is not, and we want to make sure he's playing in the playoffs. We'd love to have him, but you still got to be smart. At the end of the day, I think it's more important to get him healthy.
And meanwhile, the Bucks have lost 5 of their last 6, but Damian Lillard reminded the world there are 2 stars in Milwaukee that are all-stars. The 3 extends the Bucks' lead to 8 in the third quarter. They would hit 24 threes in this one. Lillard had 8 of them. And then later, the new guy, Kyle Kuzma, tries a 3. It's no good. But Lillard is there for the second chance bucket. He would finish with 43 points to go with 8 rebounds and as many assists. The Bucks get back in the win column, 135-127. To the football field, but not to the Super Bowl, at least just quite yet. We will start here. The New York Jets reportedly flew Aaron Rodgers to the Big Apple last week to talk about his future and reportedly told him that he is not going to be a part of their future. Rodgers is presumed to want to keep on playing, and if that is true, it sounds like it won't be with the New York Jets. And we'll finish here. This game just started, as I'm sure you know. We're still scoreless in New Orleans. The Big Easy, a great host city for a Super Bowl. Honestly, I couldn't think of a better one. A walkable city. It's warm. You have fun. I know just about everything that's going on in New Orleans is fun this week. Do you have a prediction for the game? I know we've talked all about this off camera.
Yes, I'm going to go 28-24. Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay, and I'm going to flip that just a little bit. Also a 4-point difference, but I'm going to go Kansas City. If you couldn't tell by the tie, obviously. 31-27, my guess.
All right, we'll be back here at 10 with our final predictions. We'll be back in just a moment. If it were just a few degrees warmer, Andrew and I would be outside grilling for the big game.
You can go outside. Nothing's stopping you.
In fact,
you were an adult.
I smelled somebody grilling when I walked outside just a couple minutes ago, so somebody's doing it. Yeah.
You can do it.
Still though.
I believe in you.
I'm good.
And
It's a little cold.
Don't we have a grill out there?
We might.
It's still too cold for me.
Yeah.
Well, there is no big warm up in the future, so I'm very sorry. But our temperatures are going to be back into the upper 20s to low 30s tomorrow. But further north of the Dells, you're probably going to be topping out in those mid 20s because of that fresh snow on Saturday. Cooler on Tuesday before some snow arrives starting later on Wednesday.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Blaze, and thank you, Andrew. We'll see you all back here at 10 o'clock.